All right, so part two. There's a dog, a beautiful, like an Eskimo dog, whatever those things are called. Man, that guy was beautiful. Just walked around this major street here, and it looked like he was in a world of hurt. He wasn't hit or anything, but he didn't know where he was going. So I kind of see if I couldn't at least have him come to me, or at least guide him to this neighborhood here, where I was able to kind of, show him the road. And it looked like he kind of knew where he was. And some lady said, "I think that's my neighbor's dog." I was, "Oh, that's fantastic." And I don't want to see a dog, a beautiful dog, any dog. Actually, we're getting ready to adopt a dog, we hope. First time in 15 years we had a dog. Hero, I'm not sure what Hero calls, but it's from adoptadog.com or adoptapet.com. And so my wife was on the road with my two boys and one of my boys' friends to go to Winston-Salem yesterday to see, who were they going to go? Some tennis match. I don't know what it was. But anyway, it's awesome. So we've been dying to get a dog, but my wife, she has allergies and my kids have allergies, and she's like, "You just can't, man. We got all these allergies." And we've been jonesing. My daughter Chloe has written PowerPoints and done these presentations on why we need a dog. And when we were down in Texas, our friend Melissa had two dogs, Clint and Percy, and we just loved them to death. They're little, two little munchkin dogs. I'd like to have a bigger dog, to be honest with you, but I'll take anything over nothing. And I don't blame my wife. It's not like, it's just, she's like, "Look, the kid's got allergies," and they do. No other way around that. But when we were down in Texas and Percy and Clint were hopping on our laps and whatnot, it looked like the kids were doing okay with their allergies relative to the dog. So that was good. So my wife wasn't convinced then. And then my daughter, Chloe, we just called Percy, we called him Pablo for some reason. I can't remember why we did that. But anyway, long story short, so my wife was going to Winston-Salem with my two boys and one of the kids. And literally within 10 minutes of getting the car, driving up there, my wife calls and says, or texts my daughter Chloe, "Hey, why don't you look on adoptapet.com and see what kind of dogs are out there?" And Chloe's like, huh? And she came running to me. She goes, "Dad, I think something's wrong with Mom." I said, "Why?" She goes, "Look." I said, "Really?" So I called her. I said, "You serious?" She goes, "Yeah, Nate convinced me." That's my buddy's, that's my brother's little buddy. I said, "How did Nate do that within 10 minutes of you driving?" I said, "Man, Nate should be negotiating with Trump against the Chinese. This guy's a great negotiator. He should have written art of the deal." Because we've been trying for years to get my wife to come to terms about a dog and couldn't do it. And Nate, 10 minutes in the car, and here we are. So I went on adoptapet.com or whatever it's called, and ironically, we found a dog named Pablo. And it's interesting because as my wife was agreeable to getting a dog, we all said we're going to name him Pablo no matter what. We all said that in unison. All six of us was going to name Pablo. So Chloe goes on adoptapet.com. I hope that's the right name, because if you guys are looking to adopt a pet, I'd like for you to go to the right place. Well, anyway, we found this. My wife just wanted a small dog, like football-sized dog, and I was like, hey, like I said, better than nothing. So we found a dog named Pablo up this way, about an hour and a half away. Cutest little thing. And talked to the foster lady yesterday, and the irony of it, Pablo, and that's literally his name, which is perfect. And the black and tan, kind of like my old dog. I used to have a dog named Stout who was black and tan. And Pablo looks a lot like him. Stout was probably a little bit big, probably 3 times the size, but I don't even know what kind of dog it is. Anyway, but Pablo is best friends with a dog named Daisy. And the foster lady sent me a video of Daisy and Pablo, wrestling with in there, going like that. And I said, "Man," and then she showed me a picture. I said, "That looks just like my other dog, Emma." I said, "This is nuts." So both Daisy and Pablo looked like miniature versions of our old dogs, Stout and Emma. I could not believe it. I was like, oh, my heart melted, because, man, Stout was Charlotte's favorite. Emma was my favorite. I loved them both. Stout actually had schizophrenia. It's weird, man. So we had to put him down. And Emma just got old. We had to put her down too. But it was 15 years ago. Whew, it's been a long time. It's nuts. But anyway, so little Pablo looks just like our dog Stout, already named Pablo. Just a cute little, dog. So I talked to the lady right before I started doing this walk. As I was starting to walk, the Adopt the Lady people, and they asked me questions, make sure I'm not crazy. I'm not going to eat the dog or something like that. And so we'll see. So if so, we shall have a dog here, hopefully by next couple of days. And I can't wait. I'm stoked. And then once we have the one, I can convince my wife to have a second one that looked like Emma, like a big bowling ball kind of dog. I think this lady, Daisy, her dog was like some kind of pocket pit bull or something like that. I don't know what it was, but Emma, I don't think she was a pit, but she had those little floppy ears, little kind of, I can't explain it, but not like big dog ears, but kind of look flopping on the side, like pit bulls have. Man, she was just gorgeous, and she loved me. I'll never forget the first night. So Stout would sleep with us in the bed, and Stout's probably 30 pounds, maybe 50 pounds, something like that. And that was this big muscle dog, just huge muscle dog, just gigantic, just ripped. You want to be shredded, you follow the Emma keto diet because she was ripped. First night home, she jumped right on bed with us and lay between Charlotte and me like a human being with her feet towards the bottom, her head on the pillow. And Stout's like, dude, what the hell? So Stout would sleep on our feet on the bed. So we had me, Emma, Charlotte, and Stout at the bottom. So we were all facing like this, and Stout was like this at the bottom. And I say, Emma, okay. And she didn't bully Stout, but they just would wrestle like crazy. We had this pomegranate tree in Phoenix, and they would run around it so much, chasing each other, that there's like a trail, like a path. You're like a quarter-inch deep. It was nuts, man. I loved it. I miss having a dog, something wicked. But I guess let me just wrap this up in part 2 of this about climate change. Life's good. Well, I just don't get why people are living in fear of what doesn't exist. I mean, I don't get it. That's the whole point about this. You don't need to have millions of dollars to retire. You don't. I mean, you might need, I don't know. But just to use as default and say I can't retire because I need millions, you don't know. And why go through life so scared? Do you know who those guys who killed the people in New Zealand and El Paso? They were so afraid of environmental degradation that they took it upon themselves to kill human beings. They were eco-terrorists. And yet somehow that's not being talked about. I mean, they're nuts, but that's the thing. There's so many of these people out there who are literally thinking by us living and breathing, we're doomed. Anti-human beings. We know that for a fact because what these guys, look at Bill Burr. He says, global warming, we need less people. Of course, he would never volunteer himself, his wife, or his child to be less people. It's always some other people. We all know who they meant. Third world people. We all know that. Dark-skinned people. That's what these guys all mean. So we're going to have these rich, educated Europeans, I did a quote, educated, going down to tell brown-skinned people, black-skinned people in Africa, India, not to have more kids because of global warming, how it's going to affect us, our rich first world people in Western civilization. It's freaking nuts. I despise that. Despise that to no degree. And what we see, the reason that they don't want those other people is because they think there's too many people as it is, and more people are just going to continue the destruction. And so now we got to live for now because we're all going to die anyway. Well, some people take that the wrong way. Well, I'm going to die anyway because of what these people have done. I'm going to go kill them. It's literally that simple. Or even worse, I'm so scared of climate change that I'm just going to sit here in my bubble and be scared of climate change and ridicule people like Josh who say, why are you so scared? Where is the evidence that these people have ever been right on anything? There is none. There is none. None. You're living in fear that you don't need to. It's insane to me. Why live in abject fear of something that doesn't exist? It's nuts. Life is too short. You enjoy your dogs, man. Enjoy your family. Enjoy going on a vacation up to Prince Edward Island. Enjoy it. Why just sit there and say, oh, environmental damage, It's crazy to me. And the funny thing is those same people are saying that they're so scared are the ones who are going to take trips to Europe and stuff. You can't have it both ways. And unfortunately, some people, they get this fear and they take it upon themselves to act because they're already crazy. I mean, no one's going to shoot somebody who isn't already crazy. And so there's too many people. Well, what are they going to do? They're going to kill people. It's nuts. But there's no different than, someone like Bill Burr saying too many people, we need less people. I mean, he's not going to kill people, but I mean, if you say that enough, aren't people going to start to say, there's too many people, I got to do what I can to do this as a hero. I'm going to be a martyr for the cause. I mean, these people are freaking nuts. You can't live like that. Life's still here. Speaking of dogs, hey, puppy. I'm going to have my own dog there, big guy, and I'll be walking him just right here. Old Pablo, I hope. We shall see. But why would you want to live in that kind of fear when everything else shows you the exact opposite? You want to see that dog? Hey, pup. You want to smile for the camera? Hey, pupper. I don't even know what kind of dog that is. It's cute. It's got a beard. I probably named him Beardsley. Why would you want to live like that, where everything else shows you the exact opposite of your fear? We're living longer. We're living healthier lives. We're eating a hell of a lot more food than we ever had. We're very well nourished. We have more abundance than the history of mankind combined. And this isn't just in the good old US of A either. It's across the world. Global poverty is reduced dramatically. More and more people are getting access to electricity, getting access to less polluted stuff, i.e. cow dung and wood fire, in order to breathe at night and cook their foods because of the beauty of fossil fuels. And you might argue, but Jock, there's always going to be a peak oil. Okay, maybe. But so we're going to sacrifice all these people right now for the peak oil that may or may not exist in 150 years? Doesn't make any sense. I mean, literally, it doesn't make sense. Like I said, it's anti-humane. But Josh, it's not going to hurt anything to live cleaner. Yeah. If you're talking about putting people in jail because they worked at fossil fuel companies, if you're talking about banning CO2 producing emission stuff like airplanes, cruise ships and whatnot, yeah, it will. If you're talking about getting all my electricity from solar photovoltaic or wind turbines, yeah, it will hurt people. This is just pie in the sky stuff, my friends. It's simply not going to happen. You're not going to have all your electricity generated from photovoltaic. We've talked about this a million times. You're not going to get wind, you're not going to get PV to give you all your electricity needs. And that's just electricity. It's not even the whole thing of energy, heating your home and whatnot. Hey, you still got to heat your home. You're not going to do that with solar photovoltaic. It's nuts. So stop that. But Josh, I do it with wood chips. Okay, that's fine. Good, do it. What's wood? Oh, wood's a renewable? Really? It's a fossil too, is it not? I mean, it's renewable. I agree with that 100%. That's why I'm all about biomass. But let's stop the pretense that wood in of itself is going to be renewable to the extent that we use it to do everything we need. And this is why I'm always big on learning how to build a gasifier, because you can turn wood into electricity, which is great. But let's stop this idea that wood is going to replace coal because it's renewable. Well, coal is renewable too in that same capacity. I mean, what's coal? And the funny thing is, I shared a thing with a video of this guy who's anti-CO2, and he got hired by Drax, the company that's building all these biomass shops that's taking over. They give up coal, they're going biomass to generate electricity for the UK. And this guy it's funny though, he did a pretty good video. I enjoyed it actually immensely, where he shows you about going to he didn't call them virgin, forest in the south and up in Canada, where they create their wood chips and they ship it to the UK so they can have biomass electricity generation. And of course, biomass is renewable, so UK gets to say, look at us, we're not using our fossil fuels, we're generating carbon neutral. And it's just stupid, because what the guy did not talk about, of course, is how many tons of CO2 is being emitted by shipping those wood chips, wood pellets, I guess, from Atlantic Ocean through the Atlantic Ocean to Europe, to UK. Didn't mention that at all. But what's interesting, and this is where capitalism is wonderful. There are more trees now in North Carolina relative to what there used to be because of the demand for Drax for wanting those wood pellets. There are more. Abundant trees are growing. Why? Because private property owners have a huge incentive to make profit from growing trees and maintaining them and making sure they come to fruition, that they can be used and sold for a profit. Weird how this guy didn't say that, because unfortunately a lot of greenies are not capitalistic. Now there's one up in Montana, resource, I can't remember what it's called, environmental resource, I can't remember what it's called, private environmental resource something. A lady, Dixie Lee Ray, or Dixie, something like that, Dixie Lee Ray, I think. She used to write on this all the time. I think it was pro free market environmentalism. Another guy, Terry something, had written a book on that, which I read 15 years ago. I loved it because the idea is private property rights is your best way to solve for deforestation without question. Private property rights is the best way to do this because I have an incentive to grow trees so I can sell them for a profit to other people. And when I have that incentive, I will make sure, doggone, I'll continue my end of the bargain. It's just, oh man, just don't go through life all despondent. You know how many people would kill for where you are today? I mean, just from 15, 20 years ago. Man, you gotta wake up. Wake up and just smell. I say, man, it's a wonderful life I have. It's not perfect because it's never going to be perfect. But then the idea that someone's ignorant, doesn't know, or he's a flat earther because he disagrees with you, or he's naive. Naive and being ignorant is the same thing, by the way. Or deliberately overlooking the stuff. It's just, the evidence is against you, not against me. Our side is winning, thankfully. And thankfully, it looked bleak for a while there when old Newt Gingrich got on that bench with Nancy Pelosi. I'll never forget that. I was like, man, we're losing. And somehow, and George W. Bush was able to be convinced, just somehow, righteousness, maybe it was the East Anglia CRU, the high the decline fallacy that actually, what's going on, man? That was the big one, the climate gate stuff. That might have turn the tables here because on these anti-CO2 people, because it was so deliberately, blatantly obvious that they were cooking the books. And now we see the same thing with NOAA, NASA, the whole thing. Maybe that was what did them in. They're so arrogant, the Phil Jones, the Michael Manns of the world. Their arrogance and their just animosity towards anyone who would disagree. And just rallying these people, running these people out of polite society because they happen to disagree. But anyway, our side is winning. We got the momentum. Now, that doesn't mean we win because they had the momentum in 2007. The anti-freedom people. Newt Gingrich sitting on that thing with Nancy Pelosi. I'll never forget that. I said, Newt, what the hell are you doing? You can't give in to these fear-mongers, and you're doing it, essentially, I mean, it was 2009. I think it was 2007. But you're doing it because you want to stay relevant. And you just can't do that. You got to sacrifice yourself if you need to now. A lot of people don't need to. But you got to sacrifice yourself for the truth, even if the truth doesn't want to be heard by the vast majority of people. And Newt made a critical mistake there, critical. And I'll always say, I don't know, man. I just don't trust his instincts because his instincts, they were bad. I'll never forget that. But we had some people stay the course. I said, no. And slowly but surely, the tides are changing, and our side is winning to defeat the fear-mongers. And it's we have Greta, whatever her name is, coming across here on a sailboat, and the whole thing is just silly. But it's good because if people want to, they can see the hypocrisy for what it is and the absolute insanity for what they're trying to accomplish. They'll see it if they want to. Now, that's the thing. Ignorance is tough to break through, but our side is winning finally because we have the truth. We're not afraid to take on debaters. They are. And we know that by Michael Mann not want to show his numbers. And because of that, he lost. He'll pay millions in lawyer fees. And his side, the more they get laughed at, the screechier they will become because there's trillions of dollars at stake. Trillions. The more they get laughed at, the more anger they're going to become, the more animosity they'll have, and the quicker will be their demise. I just think it's great because freedom needs fossil fuels. It needs cheap electricity, cheap energy, and we get that through fossil fuels. All right, that's all I got. We'll see you.